And welcome back. And of course, a big announcement we've got this morning is that as of yesterday, Channel 31 is now on digital, Channel 44. So if you've got a digital TV or a set-top box or whatever you use to do it with, switch it over to Channel 44 and you'll see us in digital. Yes, digital Dick, you'll call me now. So it won't be, you can always look at analogue, don't think about throwing away your telly out of the garage and everything, because you can always watch analogue transmission right through about 2013. But as of yesterday, we are digital. So hurry up and switch it over to Channel 44, because apparently digital television is slimming. So I can only hope. There you go. What do you think of that, Smithy? You excited about that?
Good luck.
Thank you very much. Okay. Now, the rest of the game's on this afternoon, and there is a couple of big ones on. And as I said before the break, out of Footrot Flats, the Anarchy Roos, who are really setting some real pace this season, and they take on the Bannockburn Tigers, the new neighbours. What do you reckon, Dale? Anarchy?
Look, it'll be a good game, Dick. We spoke about this, I think, on the preview or after the game when they beat Winchelsea a couple of weeks back, and their next probably 5 to 6 weeks is pretty telling for them. They've got a lot of the top clubs, and they will need to beat at least 2 or 3 of them to actually show that they can make that top 5. Or if they want to make that top 5, they must get in there and win 2 or 3 of those games. They've got the structures, I think, now in place, because Pittman and Cook play up forward, their key forwards. They do present very well. Once the ball hits the ground, they're not the quickest of movers, but they are getting out there and making a contest. And they've got some good young blokes running around their feet. Kane Hayes is one of those blokes come out from Cryer last year. He did a very good job. I was impressed with the way Vasika moved against Winchelsea 2 weeks back. He's a good ball crummer. He gets a lot of the ball through the middle of the ground and delivers the ball up well. And Cook, that plays in the middle and then goes forward, is also a bloke that Bannockburn will have to watch, because he's a big unit. He kicks the ball a long way, and if he does go forward, he's got a great pair of hands, and he's obviously good for 2 or 3 goals. If there's a deficiency in their side, it could be their back line, but having looked at them 2 weeks ago against Winchelsea, you would have to say that that's not there anymore, because Steve Rickett, who's obviously played in the league on the weekend, he heads up their back line. Davis is through their back line, Lazarus is through their back line, and they've got a lot of other young players that fill up the other 3 spots. They're playing some pretty good football. So, as I said, Bannockburn will need to be on their best, but they have been playing some good football. Bannockburn, as I said, the 2 boys are represented in Fatula and Jamie Van Ingen were very good through the game on the weekend, and they provide plenty of spark for their back line. Bradford Till obviously plays through the middle. I'm pretty impressed with their forward structure at the moment. They seem to be having a good spread of goal kickers, and that's what good sides need. I think they'll go all right. I think I'll stay loyal with the Tigers, but they wouldn't want to go out there thinking it's going to be an easy game.
No, particularly not at Anarchy. Jake, the Daryl Bissett-inspired Roos going along very nicely at the moment.
They are. They're ticking along very well. A lot better, I suppose, than anyone thought pre-season. And I suppose you look at their points for and against, and there's only a difference of 17 there. So they've obviously played in a lot of close games this year, and a good characteristic of a good side, I suppose, is having that ability to win the close games. I think you might get one of those today. Again, they're at home. But Bannockburn are probably, apart from where it'd be the form side of the competition, and I think that Anarchy may struggle today against a more experienced and probably a more talented lineup. But I suppose the theme with Anarchy this season has been you can't write them off at any chance, because they always seem to be there at the end. So if they're there halfway through the last quarter, they're every chance of winning.
Another big game on this afternoon. It's out at Thunderdome. The Tommy Tigers, the pile of crumbles, are going along the right too, and we thought they might be a bit struggly this year, but they're going along nicely. They take on Winchelsea, Dale, and another big game. Yeah,
look, it's going to be a good contest out there. I'd imagine Jackson McLeod will play. As I said, got knocked last week. He felt pretty well after the game, so I've got no doubt he'll play this week. They picked up Saltamarkio, I think, from St Albans last week, which cleared late in the game, and he's obviously going to provide another focal point up forward for them. I think probably the difference between the 2 sides will now be that Thompson have found a little bit of form against Belpost Hill 2 weeks ago, and playing with a fair bit of confidence. Winchelsea started the game really well against Anarchy, kicked 7 goals in the first quarter, then only managed 5 for the rest of the game. Their problem's going to be finding a replacement for Kelly up forward. Wallen could be the bloke that goes there and does that job, but then you take a bit of that drive through the half-forward line. But they've got the ball carriers in Leake. Jed Hogarth, who both those boys played in the league on the weekend. Josh Hogarth, who plays centre forward. They've got the structures there, but they're going to have to play the ball and run the ball fairly quickly to get that ball in quickly, give themselves a chance. Only because this game's at Thompson now, I'm going to go Thompson. But 2 weeks ago, I would have picked Winchelsea without any doubt.
Thompson or Winch, Jake?
Yeah, I'm going to have to pick Thompson as well. As we've said, they're probably ticking along a lot better than we thought they would be as well. And the thing with Thompson, I suppose, is you always can't write them off, because they're a side that is always competitive. And probably a tale of two sides at the moment, where one's in really good form and one's not travelling so well. Those injuries that Dale was alluding to for Winchelsea, I suppose they had Blake Kelly's out, and was it Kruger, I think, pulled a hamstring late in the game as well. So they're two critical losses for Winchelsea, and you see Thompson really getting some of their better players into form. Jackson McLeod, as we said, he had that knock, so I guess he really didn't play a game. He had a full rest again last week as well, and he kicked 6 goals the week before the break as well. So he's getting into some nice form, and I think he might cause a few problems today.
Yep.
And yeah, Thompson will win.
Tommy Tigers for the boys. And I take a lot of notice of you too, Jake, because you're doing very well in the footy tipping in the local footy. So
yep.
I'm starting to copy your tips now. So only I'm going to catch up. I'm so far behind. Unbelievable. Okay, big game out at the Inverleigh Oval. Well, I guess it's a percentage boost in a lot of ways because the Belmont Lions are definitely struggling. Dale, you wouldn't think they'd have too much problem against Belmont?
I don't think there'll be too much trouble at all in this game, Dick. As I said, their form over the last 3 weeks, while they haven't won many of the games, they haven't won any of the last 3 in Inverleigh, unfortunately. They've started off pretty well, but then fell in a bit of a hole against some quality sides. And again, I think they'll be looking to, over the next 3 or 4 weeks, really get themselves back in and working hard to win possession of the ball through the middle of the ground. Obviously, the big fella up in the goal square is going to be the Mountain. He couldn't. Skrobalak got 13 last week. I think he could match that quite easily. I think it's going to be a one-sided game.
Yeah, one-sided, you think too, Jake?
Yeah, you'd have to think that Inverleigh will get the job done pretty easily. I suppose the one positive for Belmont is that they have still managed to kick scores some weeks. I think they kicked 60 points last week against East Geelong. So even though they got absolutely flogged, they're still kicking goals. So you can tell that there's a little bit of talent there. It's just maybe they've got to get their structures right out there. But they won't trouble Inverleigh today, you wouldn't have thought.
Cry on Werribee Central's another, what do you think, a one-sided game, Dale?
Yeah, I don't think you need to go into this one too with too much depth. I think it's a bit of a shame that Karaya have sort of dropped away so much, but I think when you lose somewhere between 14 to 18 players from their senior side last year, it's going to take a bit of time to restructure up. Unfortunately, the older players that are trying to hold them together won't be there for much longer. They're probably getting near the end of their time, so Werribee for me pretty easily.
Jake Karaya or Werribee Central?
Yeah, Werribee will win this one. I suppose something you can make note of is that Barry O'Toole was pretty impressive last week in the interleague game for the GDFL, and he's probably the star performer for Karaya in what's been a pretty dismal season so far. But yeah, Werribee will win pretty comfortably today. And
we're running out of time. Maybe digital takes off minutes as well as kilograms. I don't know what's going on here. But out at the Western Oval, the Geelong West Shooters, they're struggling. North Geelong seem to have found a bit of form, Dale.
Yeah, as I said, Frankie will be still, I reckon, still inspired by last week's performance at the interleagues lesson. He'll be trying to take this game in. North Geelong easy.
In a word, Jake.
North Geelong.
Absolutely magnificent. Thanks very much again. Have a good afternoon, fellas, with the call.
Shall do.
Be a magnificent game, and we look forward to a great afternoon of footy, and the results coming on straight after the game of all local footy scores will be fantastic. You enjoy your footy this afternoon, folks. Stick around for Daryl Pittman and the boys. Local Footy Show. I do love a Saturday. I really do too. It'll be a fantastic afternoon in sport. A great morning of sport still coming up on Channel 31. Stick around on Channel 44 as from yesterday. Have a great afternoon, everybody. We'll see you all again next week. Bye for now.